Welcome to No BS Baking. You got JP here. Today we're going to talk about preservatives. But instead of me rambling on at the beginning here, I'm going to cut right through it. I'm going to move this video along a little quicker. Please let me know if I'm answering the questions that you have, or if I'm moving too quickly, or you guys think that this is okay. So anyway, without further ado, this one's for you, Jim. The most common mold inhibitor that's used in the baking industry is calcium propionate. It's a naturally occurring salt, so you don't need to get too freaked out about the name. The application rate's generally 0.2% or 200 parts per million, but keep in mind 200 parts per million is the high side of things for when it's quite warm out and you really need that mold inhibiting effects. If it's the winter, you could easily drop that in half or even less to give you some very, very good mold inhibiting properties. Now, sorbates and all the rest of that is generally not used in baking per se inside the dough. It's used as a topical application. Many bakers will spray the bread directly after baking, after it's been depanned, with sorbate to stop any type or inhibit any type of topical mold that you get on the product. When it comes to clean label mold inhibitors, they're divided into two main categories: pH reduction and cell disruption. On the natural side of things, vinegar has long been used by the baking industry. Generally, they use 100 or a 200 grain vinegar. But 100 grain vinegar I think is quite common. You can buy it in your grocers, and definitely you can order it online. I've given you the application rates here and the issues that you can potentially have. Now, taste can be an issue if you go too much higher level. Stick to the 1% and you won't have any issues. But if you go to higher levels, definitely your tastes will be impacted. Yeast may require a slight increasing, and usually this is used in conjunction with some other type of natural mold inhibitor, because in order to get the really good benefits, you really have to use it at higher amounts. Prune and plum juice, also very commonly used. You can see the application rates. The active ingredients I've got listed, and of course the benefits and some of the things that need to be aware of when you're using prune and plum juice. Now, raisin juice concentrate and raisin paste also are some nice alternatives that you can put in there. Just keep in mind that when you're using raisins or prunes or anything, you do got more sugar, you get more coloration during baking, so you got to watch that. You might need to increase your yeast a little bit. But the other great thing about both of those, raisin paste, raisin juice, and prunes and plums, is that it works nicely as a fat replacer also. Now in these ones here, we're getting into the cultures. Cultured corn syrup, cultured wheat flour. You can see that they drive pH down within your dough system. Here's your application rates, and just keep in mind that anytime you're adding acid into your dough, that you may need to increase your yeast. Cultured whey powder is another one of the cultured powders or additives that you can add in there. Once again, does all the same thing, provides acid into the dough system. Mold hates it. It can really help you extend the shelf life of your product. Now, sour cultures, we all know this. Sour pre-ferments, also adding acid into your dough, and will help you get some additional shelf life and mold-free days. Now, from a cell disruption standpoint, cinnamon and cloves, and there's a few other spices that can be used to work as cell disruptors. Now, these are best to use in conjunction with one of the other natural ingredients that we have up there. If you can, obviously cinnamon doesn't work and cloves don't work in some types of breads. But if you're going to use these, definitely use them in conjunction with something else to maximize or optimize your mold inhibiting effect. Now, lastly, there's some additional ones that you can explore, and if you want any more information, it's easy to Google this stuff. Lemongrass extract operates as a disruptor. Cardamom powder, also citrus extract, soybean oil. All of these items here, you can quickly Google them. You can get the application rates, and you can try them in your bread products for that natural mold inhibitor properties that they offer. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you learned a little bit of something out of this one. I always try to give a little bit of information in there that's a little different from some of the other websites. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop me a line. I'd be happy to answer any of your baking questions. And remember, please give me a like and a subscribe down below. It really, really helps with this YouTube stuff, and especially when you're starting off like I am. So thank you. We'll see you again next time on No BS Baking.